Friends, our gospel reading today teaches us a lot about prayer. First that we can learn about prayer is that it doesn't have to be long. Both men in the parable prayed very brief prayers. I recall a teacher in theology who told us that a prayer can be very, very short. Help, he says. Help to be enough. But each prayer was very different. In his brief prayer, the Pharisee said, "I," 4 times. And while he seems to thank God for his goodness, he is really patting himself on the back. In his view, he is singular and unique. He thanks God for not being like the rest of humanity, greedy, dishonest, adulterous, or even like the tax collector. In his own eyes, he is a complete product. There's little room in him to be changed by God in his prayer. He might have said his prayer, but he did not say his prayer because he did not see any need to change. There was no space for God to enter his life. On the other hand, we don't hear the word "I" from the tax collector. He refers himself by using "me." "O God, be merciful to me, a sinner." So I and me, what's the difference? I believe that I is the subject of the sentence, the cause of the action. And me is the object, the recipient of another action. The tax collector cannot achieve mercy on his own, and so he reveals his need before God and desires God to do something for him. He wants to be changed, and he trusts God to help him make the necessary change in his life. What might have shocked the listeners of the parable of Jesus today is how radical it is. Pharisee is not a bad person. He's doing everything he should have been doing. He is completely dedicated to the demands of the law. In fact, he goes beyond what is required. He's offering a prayer of thanksgiving to God for his personal, exemplary behavior. Like the 2 men, we have come into this church, this temple, to pray. Like the tax collector, we recognize that we are not complete, that we need to move over and leave room for God to continue shaping and molding us. And what is in our hearts? What do we need to make necessary changes in our lives? What are our desires and what are our limitations? We admit today that we are a work in progress. We admit our need to change so that we can take prayerful positions before God. Unlike the Pharisees, we don't need to compare ourselves with others. We just have to be ourselves and be honest with God the best we can. Because God sees empty spaces that need filling and the sins that need mercy. Who knows what work God may be doing in us at this Eucharist? Who knows what changes might come about in our lives in God's hands today?